Good morning. I would like to thank the Great Spirit for this moment. My name is Puwe Puyanawa. I come from the Acre state in Brazil, in the border between Brazil and Peru. It's next to the border. So, this is a moment of a certain vibration, and we are here with a system, but we are on your same level. I'm only 39 years old, and I've always been in the community. I've always lived in the jungle. I was studying in the academia, but I never lived in the city. I always wanted to be amongst my fellow villagers to help my community and my jungle. And I'm here today to share some moments of my life because I see there is a need. We're going to have three pretty dynamic moments here today, but first I would like to thank ayahuasqueros, both men and women, groups that are spread throughout the world, throughout the face of earth. There's ayahuasca everywhere. The ayahuasca that comes from the vine, from the liana, and from the leaf. Ayahuasca that comes with many names, but there is one original name. For instance, they talk about ayahuasca, but this name, ayahuasca, comes from the Camarame people, Puyanawa, our people, Puni as well. It is also called the daime plant. So it comes with many different names, but they all mean the same, which is the quest for the light. And I would like to thank our people and our family, this great family we've got here, this panel with Pilar and all my fellow panelists, because if you were, and also you that are sitting there, because if you were not there, we would not be here, and if we weren't here, you wouldn't be there. So we're here together. We are all here together to do this work. So thank you to the group of Oscar Isis, Benjamin, and all of the organizers of the event and the sponsors that are making this event possible. This third World Conference on Ayahuasca, held here today, is a journey. This has been said, but we are still embarked in this journey, because this ship cannot stop. It must go on, and some might give up. I won't. I believe you will not either. So we are pushing forward. We're driving to this world of happiness. What is this medicine like? How is it used in our people, in the Puyanawa people? Well, it is used for the traditional knowledge and for the scientific knowledge, also for the emotional and spiritual improvement of our people. We spend a lot of time with our people, with our community, and our people spent a lot of time without that knowledge because it was forbidden for over 100 years. We couldn't follow our culture, but we fought. And in the year 2000, when they split up our territory, ayahuasca, of course, already existed, made by other masters or made by people who fought for the territory, who fought for the extraction reservations at that point in the 1970s, and also in 1983. I was still a little boy. I was born in 1979, and I will soon be 40. But My spirit already communicated and spoke and knew that someday we would get to this level so that we could make a contribution to what we have now. And what we have now is love, and we don't want it for us only, we want to share it. We also get to fight for the earth, for the land, for our culture, for our tradition, for our spirituality, the continuity of a struggle for our people, for our elders, for our leaders who are no longer living with us, but we're still vibrating, we're still fighting that struggle so that they can be peaceful with their spirit, with their soul, whatever they are, because they will see there's people following on their footprints, on their struggle. So on behalf of our ancestors, on behalf of our current generation, and on behalf of the future generation, so that we can write a good story and we can say that we were where we had to be. So we know what we already know, which is not much, but the little we know will allow us to learn much more and fight together for life on Earth. The indigenous people has a tradition, and we revive it, we use it and then reuse it, but we feel like we're losing many things because there's many laws regulating things, there's laws here and there. And today what we're asking for is that we should also be able to legalize our things, our own things, and we should be able to enjoy freedom. I'm, for instance, an indigenous individual from the jungle, and I can't give my medicine because it is not legalized, whereas others are. Maybe this is because we don't have the specialist, or you can call it what you want, but we also need this opportunity, we also need this support. Benkan Shaninga is building an institution in the municipality of Shamatu to legalize the medicines of indigenous peoples and traditional peoples. And we need them, and we need that. And he asked me to speak on his name, on his behalf. But we also have projects for the survival of peoples. We have a territory of 24,000 hectares. 700 people live there, 150 families, 26 teachers, all of them educated in the university. We have 6 health agents, 2 forest agents or rangers that take care of the animals and the plants. We also have the representatives of the Puyanawa people, the organization, and he's an activist from Manau and Paraná. And we have this survival project. We live from farming, from our crops, our knowledge, and this is why I'm now so grateful for being able to share this moment with us, with you. But in defense of our life, we also have allies, and I would like to mention some of our allies here. The rangers and the custodians of the Amazon, Adolfo Mozos, also Pepe and Lama Loca, who have also supported our projects from the beginning. In 2016 and then 2017, we published also here in Barcelona, the Earth Project, because our sacred land was left out of the territory division they did some years ago, and now they have this project because in the world everyone talks about conservation of nature and the jungle and planting things and planting trees. I do that often, and you also plant trees, but a jungle needs hundreds of years to recover with the native flora. No one's going to live for 200 years, but none of us. But it will be easier for us if we take care of it. So we have this ongoing project, and I would like to thank Adolfo Mozo and Vlad, son of Pilar, and he's making this documentary film, which hopefully will belong to the Puyanawa people, but also to mankind, because it comes from a sacred place for our primal origin. And who knows how many years ago our people was contacted in 1909, 1910. It was the first contact with our people, but our story, our history, has been short, but we have experienced a lot of destruction on this earth. But I'm not pure indigenous. My mother is not an Indian. My father is. My grandfather was not an Indian, but my grandmother was, and he wouldn't even speak Portuguese, and I'm very happy for this, because I get something from here and from there. I get to have a little of everything. We also have this other project, this festival on Acha, the Festival of Mandioca, many of you know about, which is from July 18th to 22nd. Many people will go there. We also have the living project with people here present, and also people from Brazil. And then in February every year, with Pepe, with Lucas, they come to our community in a group. So if you can raise your hands, how many were there in this experience? At least 5 or 6 people. And this makes me happy, because we have time during those experiences, those life lessons, to understand what ayahuasca is, and not only what it is, but what work it needs and how old you need to be to get into this dimension. And people use ayahuasca. There's many churches, there's many members that decide to plant ayahuasca. We're doing that in this community. I'm planting a lot of ayahuasca, I'm planting a lot of medicine, and I will do this for myself and for many others who can't plant it anywhere. And I would like to thank you for this moment. I would like to thank our chairman, our facilitator, because otherwise we wouldn't be here either. And I would also like to thank all these people, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, the Puyanawa people, our leaders, our elders. Together we should protect this culture, because we need to dwell in a reflection here, with our hands together holding ayahuasca. We are meditating for these hands holding the planet. Yes, well, I don't know, actually. I can just make my little contribution. Probably everyone is making their little contribution, but we will have to take care of the jungle, because if the jungle ends, medicine will end, and then knowledge will end. And if knowledge ends, what will happen? I can't give an answer to that, but I know that it would disappear. And this is why we can't stay doing nothing. and we shouldn't be sad either. We should be living in happiness so that everything that is not good gets light. So light is shed on this darkness. We need to have wisdom and health in our spirit and our heart. And I would like to conclude, because we also have this clock controlling us, and we have to learn from everything in this life. And with this, I would like to chant, to sing, to finish my intervention with my guitar, because I'm a musician, a songwriter, but I'm like you. Same sun, same earth, same water, and we are filled with happiness, with this strength, talking about medicine, talking about ayahuasca. Thank you very much from this stage. I will now go to the other end of the stage to grab my guitar and sing to all of you. Thank you.
Oi, oi. Eu posso cantar nos dois, não tem problema não. Essa música que eu vou cantar, ela...
So I'm going to share this music. I'm going to sing this chant. It is a message that says, I come from far away. I come from afar, from the roots, from ayahuasca.
Eu venho de longe, das raízes da ayahuasca. Eu venho de longe. Easy da ayahuasca. Eu venho trazendo a paz e o amor para quem sabe amar. Eu venho trazendo a paz e o amor para quem sabe amar. O poder da mãe natureza tá no céu e na terra e no mar. O poder da mãe natureza tá no céu e na terra e no mar. e no mar. Hey, 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 no céu e no mar. Hey, 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 no céu e no mar. Viva Ayahuasca! Eu venho de longe, das raízes da Ayahuasca. Eu venho trazendo a paz e o amor para quem sabe amar. Eu venho trazendo a paz e o amor para quem sabe amar. O poder da Mãe Natureza tá no céu e na terra e no mar. O poder da Mãe Natureza tá no céu e na terra e no mar. No céu e no mar. Bora todos! Hey, 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 no céu e no mar. Hey, 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 no céu e no mar. Viva a natureza, viva a Ayahuasca, viva todos nós.
Hoy día hemos tenido de todo, es que era bien diverso.
So we will now open some time for questions. We will have a Q&A session. We have a rolling mic you can use. I guess there's many people who have stories to tell, but given the time we have after all these presentations, I would ask you to be more specific and straightforward on the topic. So if you have a question, please come to the microphone. It's not a rolling mic, it is a standing mic you should come to, and you can choose our panelists for an answer.
Hola, mi honor.
Hello, my name is Giovannis. I come from Greece. I'm here to support Ayahuasca. I'd like to ask our guests about the new president in Brazil. I'd like to know what the situation is now for the religion and for the Amazonian forest. What's the situation now with the new Brazilian president? Would anybody like to answer?
Como eu mencionei na minha fala,
As I mentioned in my presentation, in Brazil, we are witnessing the strengthening of political conservatism and religious fundamentalism, which luckily still hasn't turned its eyes to us, because perhaps we are but a small group when compared to other religious denominations. So we're going to continue following the footsteps of our masters. We understand that God is bigger than anything. I would also like to say that I'm deeply worried because we are the defenders of nature. And today there is a proposal on social media about a connection, a railway link from Mato Grosso to Boraina, Rio Grande, Boceiro do Sur, and from there to Pucallpa. 700 kilometers of railway line through the jungle. Now, the interest there is not for me being an indigenous tribe to help me, whatever. No, I mean, we are against it because we are defending nature and we stand together. And I know there are laws which defend my interests, but we are here to defend the planet. So if there's anything you can do, if you can write a letter to the Brazilian government, I think that this is a good moment to make a call to have all the indigenous communities of Brazil, Peru, Colombia, all the churches, all the religious communities, people from the legal world, from academia, we should write letters to the government, the Brazilian government, against this project. We, the indigenous people, are against the project. We are scared of it. We know what would happen if there was a railway line crossing the forest, crossing that indigenous land, that area of conservation, those lands which are protected because they're sacred lands. So this is my message to you. We need to work with the power of the great master that will throw light upon us, and it will light our path. Any other questions? Let's go back to the subject, beyond the individuals, ceremony for the community. Are there any other questions? The microphones are open. Hello. I have a question for whomever feels they can answer. I got to know ayahuasca medicine with Santo Daime. Now, with the current situation, I feel very grateful to the indigenous communities and to you for bringing this wonderful medicine to us. After meeting Santo Daime in Brazil and then in Spain, I realized that for me now Santo Daime needs to grow in Spain in natural environments, together with work for nature itself. So I want to ask you whether you think it would be good to use the medicine, the plant, in this context, or in what context do you think it would be good to use the medicine here in Spain or in Europe? Would anybody like to answer?
Sina, ¿cuál sería el contexto? ¿Cuál sería el mejor contexto?
The question is, what would be the best context for the use of the medicine here in Spain? I believe there are moments where it's up to each and every one of us. I mean, if you have the opportunity of having ayahuasca here, well, perhaps you should go ahead and do it, but then perhaps you need to go to the source, to the place of origin, to find out more about it. But if you have a chance to drink ayahuasca with people who know about it, who are maestros, then yes, you could do it. But my recommendation is don't drink ayahuasca with just anybody. It's got to be deeply rooted in the origins. So If the person you're going to drink the medicine with has the right power, the contact with the origin, then that's good. You can't just buy the plant on internet. That it would be my recommendation. Is that okay? Thank you. Again, the floor is open for any questions. Please come up to the microphone. You can speak English, you can speak whatever language you want. Right. How can the community stop
¿Alguien de la mesa para responder?
Thank you for your question. Would anybody like to answer?
Como que curandeiro mal ele entra na medicina?
Mal.
Sim.
Ya, un curandero entra a la medicina, ya. Ya es una pregunta muy importante, ¿no? Tener
Yes, this is a difficult question. How to deal with the issue of evil people in the medicine. In the world of teacher plants like ayahuasca, ayahuasca has different ayahuascas. For example, ayahuasca heaven or sky, ayahuasca boa, camarante, and ayahuasca negra, black ayahuasca. And teacher plants also have many varieties, but within those varieties, there might be a certain part, perhaps 10%, which does have negative energy. So there might be people who perhaps without knowing, without looking into things, they just go to a curandero, a shaman, and they find that ayahuasca negra, the black ayahuasca, is being used to prepare the medicine. And that's not good knowledge, that's negative. Because that energy is not healing energy. That energy is not going to help people. So that happens to many people who get to the ayahuasca world for the first time. Some people who do dietas 3-4 times and then decide to call themselves curanderos or shamanes. That is sad. Would anybody like to add anything? Yes, I'd like to say that when talking about this, there is a study. We are working on the use of ayahuasca, and when treated like that, ayahuasca is no longer pure, it's something else. It's not the medicine. And in life, like in everything, there's good people and not so good people. But, you know, it works like this. The people who are not so good with us with our system, they can also become good. It's not just that because they are bad or evil, we're going to give them up. No, we need to work with them. We need to discuss whatever we need to discuss. But once again, I'd like to ask you to be careful with what you're using, because and if you work with me, you're not going to be with me all the time. You might end up using other things. You've got to be careful. I've got a recommendation that was given me by other maestros, and it is be watchful, be on your guard. You mustn't be scared, but just be on your guard to avoid just mixing things and losing our sense of direction. Did you want to answer? No, we have another.
Something for Puwe. I will speak in English and in Portuguese as well. For Puwe, eu gostaria de sugerir sobre a sua ideia de escrever uma carta.
About your idea of writing a letter to the president, I'd say that since you're here and we've got cameras here, we could record you in a little message expressing your concern to the president. And we can then subtitle your message and post it on social media. I think that would be a powerful way of sending on your message. And it would help spread your message. The lady now speaks English.
For the president, where he can organize, we can organize subtitles, and this can go on the social media to help with him having support from the community outside for his project. Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Muito bem, está excelente, né? Mas assim, não é uma luta minha. Então eu não posso me apresentar em nome de uma pessoa, o Puwe. Mas eu acho que acredito.
Well, this is really not my struggle. I don't think it should be my face appearing on a message. It should come from the event, from everybody. I mean, I'm willing to pass on a message, but I don't think it should be my image speaking to the president or posting it on social media. It's not that I'm scared. I trust the spirit. I trust my teacher. But this is not my moment. It is everybody's moment. It is the moment for the conference. Well, there is an indigenous space where this is being discussed. The idea was put to circulate a letter, a manifesto. So there is a message being circulated. I'm just letting you know that there is this message circulating. Well, there is a clear threat. And it's not just for traditional, original ayahuasca people, but for any indigenous community. All the tribes, all the peoples are being threatened. Their lands are being threatened. This is deeply concerning. This could destroy cultures, populations. Perhaps the only powerful thing would be international pressure, because public powers show zero sensitivity for these issues. Are there any more questions? We could also happily accept internal questions among the members of the panels. So if there's anything that you would like to ask one another, please feel free.
Please. Thank you.
Tiene todavía una pregunta más acá.
I wanted to invite us to a possibility. I've heard a lot of the problems that exist in the world and what's wrong. And knowing that we're all here together and seeing what's just even happened in my lifetime with the advent of the internet and how so many people have come together to right so many injustices in such a short period of time. My question of you all is if you could declare right here, right now, something from your heart that we all could align to and support. What could we co-create, co-elevate, manifest together as one?
Eu falo de novo? Alguém fala ou eu falo de novo? Ok, né? Eu acho que a ideia...
Well, I think that the idea is that we're here now, we're seeing what's happening over there, but this could affect us all our lives. I'm 40, and Abuela Pilar, Grandmother Pilar, she is a young lass, 60 years old, or perhaps a little more. I mean, I'm halfway through my life, but I'm worried about generations coming after me with all this pollution, all this contamination, people who can no longer hear other people, listen to them. We are obviously open to producing a document, a message. I just would not like it to come just from my head. I want it to come from all of you. That's why I was saying that we need to listen not just to the original people, but to everybody. We want to take not to our killing weapons, but to our communication weapons, to our telephones, to our voices, to the people we speak to. Here we are in Catalonia. In Catalan schools, they're carrying out different projects with students, and they're doing a good job, and things are looking better for them, but they should be even better. And it's, as you were saying, we're all here to defend nature and our lives together.
Gracias. Teníamos más una pregunta.
Hello, I will speak in English. It's kind of a tricky question, but it came out from a talk that I had yesterday with another girl. And I want to ask also, because we have two women here, can Mother Ayahuasca help us with gender inequality? Because a lot of traumas for us women is caused, and we have a lot of traumas that comes from gender violence, gender inequality, structural differences. So my question is, how can we use the knowledge to reduce these inequalities and traumas? And yeah, that's my question. Thanks.
Thank you.
Muito oportuna a sua pergunta, no mundo que nós vivemos. Eu também tenho...
It's indeed a fitting question for the times we live in. I also ask myself how we can help. I have received some answers for the ayahuasca, from the ayahuasca world. Initially, I felt full of rage. I felt the object of aggression because of sexist behavior. I've learned as part of our spiritual work that we cannot react in the same way. We cannot answer with the same aggressive energy. So what I personally try to do is I try to pay attention and identify the attitudes that hurt other women. And I pray to God that my conscious that is present at that point can also throw light on the person who commits the deed, on their emotions, so that the response is not aggression but a more loving response. Because men are also created by women. Women also have sexist behaviors. We've got to identify that and change our behavior as mothers, as women, as spouses, transform our reality in our small nuclei of community. So that's my suggestion. Do not answer to hate with hate. Offer a different response. The words of Jesus Christ. It's not just offer the other side of your face, not just offer the other cheek. It's just help create that loving reality we want to live in.
Sigue abierto el micrófono. Todavía nos quedan minutos, así que...
The microphone is still open. We have a couple of minutes, so if you have any questions. And I insist for the members of the panel, if you have any questions amongst yourselves, please feel free. How beautiful, there are no questions among them. I mean, there's diversity, but ayahuasca brought them together. Well, I do have a recommendation, and it is our concern for the environment and the production of ayahuasca. It's important for you to know where the ayahuasca you consume comes from. Many people have turned this activity into a source of business. In Brazil, whole areas of the forest are being devastated for commercial purposes. So the people who are outside there, who benefit from the brew, they need to know where the plant comes from. The environment is paramount. Well, now we are running out of time and we've come to the end of the session. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all the speakers.